Welcome again to John and Lisa's workshop here. We're doing our jazz program is focusing on Hoagy Carmichael. His career began, and this is part three, so if you're coming in late, this is a little what Hoagy looked like. Not a bad looking chap actually, and kind of made it possible for him to be in the movies at the latter part of his career. But he wrote some great songs. In the first part we did Stardust and Rocking Chair. In the second, we moved to the time when he was in New York City, and we did songs like Georgia on My Mind, Up the Lazy River, The Nearness of You. Today we're looking at that period of time where he got married and moved to Hollywood and started a career as a character actor in Hollywood movies. He was always portrayed as the piano player singing some of his songs. And so he did very well from 1937 right up to 1951. He appeared in 14 different movies and was got along very well with his playmates, so to speak, because he was the musician. In a few cases he wrote the lyrics, but in most cases he depended on other people like Johnny Mercer to provide the lyrics. But he was the person that provided the music. So the first piece of music we're going to look at was intended for a movie called A Song is Born, and it's called Heart and Soul. I first heard it back in the 50s when I was visiting a friend's house, and her older sister was playing this on the piano, and it stuck in my mind all these years, these decades later. I can still remember her playing this on the piano. It became a very famous a piano piece for people. It's called Heart and Soul, and it goes like this. Heart and soul, I fell in love with you, heart and soul, the way a fool would do, madly, because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night, heart and soul. I begged to be adored, lost control, and tumbled overboard gladly. The magic night we kissed, there in the moon mist. Oh, but your lips were thrilling, much too thrilling. Never before were mine so strangely willing. see what one embrace can do. Look at me, it's got me loving you madly. That little kiss you stole held all my heart and soul. Heart and soul. So that was part of his entrance into Hollywood. He got along very well with other songwriters and other artists. There are a lot of parallels with two other people that we did. Louis Armstrong was our first three-parter, and then we did Johnny Mercer. We did a three-parter on Johnny Mercer, and now this is our third part with Hoagy Carmichael. And it's interesting how their careers intersected at different places, because while Hoagy wrote the music, Johnny Mercer wrote the lyrics for the music, and Louis Armstrong popularized the music. So it was like a 1-2-3. It worked very well for them, and they were friends for all those decades. In fact, when Louis turned 70, there was a big party bash for him, and Hoagy was one of the master of ceremonies at that particular bash. So there was a friendship that was based on music, but it was mutually beneficial for all three of them. This next piece of music is again Skylark. I think it's one of the prettiest pieces of instrumental music. There are words to it. Johnny Mercer added words to it, but Skylark, a beautiful piece of music. So there you have Skylark, beautiful instrumental. Johnny Mercer did add words to it, but this isn't the Johnny Mercer show, so we're not going to do the words today. That brings us towards the end of Hoagy's career, 1951. Johnny Mercer and he once again team up for a movie called Here Comes the Groom, and Bing Crosby is in it along with Jane Wyman. The two of them are doing a song, a duet actually, and it won the Academy Award for that year. So I think it kind of is the highlight of Hoagy's career, and from that point on, musical taste changed. Rock and roll, rhythm and blues came into account, and it wasn't that he stopped writing. He still had, well, when the Beatles came across in the 60s, he lamented the fact that he still had 2 or dozen songs in his trunk, but nobody was asking for them. So it kind of is one of those things where the peak of his music, the appeal of his music kind of ended. However, as I said before, he was very adaptable. He had his own radio programs, and he was often asked to be the host of television programs. This is in the 50s and 60s, when there was still a lot of sympathy for what he was doing, and he was well liked. So this next song is sung by Bing Crosby and Jane Wyman, and I'm going to try and do both parts here, so it'll be be a bit of a challenge, but it's okay. It's called "In the Cool, Cool, Cool of the Evening," and if I sound a little like Bing Crosby, please forgive me. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell him I'll be there. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, save your pappy a chair. When the party's getting a glow on and singing fills the air, in the shock of the night, when the doings are right, well, you can tell him I'll be there. I like a barbecue, I like to boil a ham, and I vote for bouillabaisse stew. I'd like a wiener baked steak and a layer cake, and you'll get a pommy too. We'll rent a tent or a teepee, let the town crier cry all's well. And if it's RSVP, this is what I'll reply. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell them we'll be there. If you need a pair of freeloaders to fracture your affair, I'll even give them Pagliacci. Stand back and give me air. If one can relax and we'll have a few yaks, well, you can tell them we'll be there. We said the bumblebee, let's have a jubilee. When says the prairie hen soon? Sure, says the dinosaur. Where, says the grizzly bear? Under the light of the moon. How about your brother Jackass? Everyone gaily cried. Are you coming to the fracas? And all respects he sighed. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell him I'll be there. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell him I'll be there. If we look a little peaked, remember, say like if we're still on our feet and there's something to eat, you can tell them we'll be there. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell them I'll be there. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, better save a chair. When the party's getting a glow on and singing fills the air. If there's gas in my hack and my laundry is back, if there's room for one more and you need me wash shore, if you need a new face or a tenor or a bass, if I can climb out of bed and put my head on my head, well, you can tell them we'll be there. So that kind of comical song kind of marked the highlight of Hoagy's career, and Johnny Mercer too. But don't feel badly for him. He was still living off his royalties. They were bringing in $300,000 a year, which was a lot of money. And he went on to coin collecting and golfing and taking an easy few decades. Just to end, I would say that he wrote two biographies, one in the 40s and another one in the 60s, reflecting on his career. And he kind of, like a lot of people do at the end of the career, they look back and they said, I think I could have done more. And Hoagy Carmichael, well, I guess we've indicated he was kind of a victim of the changing musical taste, but he felt that he could have done more. And like Louis Armstrong, there's a certain amount of regret, but on the whole, you have to think of the outstanding success that they had. So that winds up our three-part look at Hoagy Carmichael. Hope you've enjoyed it. Look for us again. We'll be around. And keep well from John and Lisa. Bye now.